Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of biology. And of course, today we're looking at the appendicular skeleton. Okay, we said in the previous class that the mammalian skeleton is made up of the axial skeleton, and the appendicular skeleton. We looked at the axial skeleton in the previous class. All right, if you have not watched it, you have no business here. All right, each video is a sequel to the next, so please ensure you go back, watch it, like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and then join us on this one. But before, do not forget that these tutorials, okay, these episodes, they are brought to you by the O3 Schools app for JAMB, for WAEC, for any O-level exam you're preparing for. Those applications are there for you to succeed at once, okay? Trust me, if you stay dedicated to the application and study, not cram, okay? Do not cram, you study. That's why we pride in teaching you first, so that after you have learned, answering questions will be easy for you. Do not cram questions. You study and then you answer questions, because from the knowledge of knowing it, okay, you answer a question because you have already known it. You have studied it. Okay, if you see a question, you should know which topic that question is coming from. All right. So because you know which topic coming from, you know what the answer will be. That's what studying helps you to achieve. That's why we'll try as much as possible to teach you comprehensively. So please do not fall our hand. All right. Let us see, before I talk about the app, let us see a past question from the JAMB app. This is a 1997 question number 23. It says here, it is being displayed on the screen right now. It says that the appendicular skeleton is composed of the pectoral girdle, A says pelvic girdle, fore and hind limbs. Okay, then B says pelvic girdle and fore limbs. C says lumbar vertebrae and pelvic girdle. D says lumbar vertebrae, fore and hind limbs. All right, so we'll come back to this question and many more questions at the end of the class and not before, because at O3 Schools we pride ourselves in teaching you first. So please ensure you download the application. It's available on Play Store, available on App Store. All right, the application has all the past questions that you need for your exam, so you do not need to bother about going to buy past question anywhere for all the subjects in one application. Also, there's a classroom feature. That classroom feature is wonderful, because it has lecture notes structured according to the JAMB syllabus. So you'll not be bothered about going to find textbook to read. All right. And of course, because we have structured those lecture notes according to the JAMB syllabus, we now created a study plan. Okay, there's a study plan in the classroom. You can create a study plan. What the study plan does is to crash all your syllabus, okay, and then prepare a timetable for you so that you can easily finish your syllabus, okay, and in time. All right, so please ensure that what you get the app. Also, there's also question search feature. Just like the way we saw this question, we just went to the app, search for appendicular skeleton. Questions under appendicular skeleton came out naturally for us. All right, so we can now see anywhere JAMB has said anything that resembles appendicular will come out. So you can answer all those questions afterwards, studying a particular topic. Also, there's a mock challenge on the app every Saturday. All right. So in that mock challenge, every student that's preparing for exam come to the app to compete to win prizes. Okay. But the major point is not the prizes. All right. The major point is to what? Get used to JAMB past questions or WAEC past questions. Get used to likely exam questions. Put yourself in place of the examiner and see how he's thinking, how he wants to confuse you. All right. So all these and more. And at the end of every challenge, you see your score released, just like normal JAMB, okay, or just like normal WAEC exam. All right. Thereby building your confidence, thereby you making you to be able to track how prepared you are per time. So please ensure you get the app. All right, and activate it. Check the app for the current activation fee. All right, do not see, don't, because you have used the app 2001, you don't see the price that it was 2001 is the price you want to pay now. Okay, things are not the same again. But trust me, the activation fee is less than the price of rice and chicken in a good restaurant. Trust me. All right, so please do not go and choose rice and chicken over your future. Okay, go to school, make a name for yourself, all right, and make all of us proud. So let us quickly look at the appendicular skeleton. Now, the appendicular skeleton is made up of the bones of the upper limbs. Okay, it's made up of the bones of the upper limbs. Okay, made up of the bones of the lower limbs. Okay, then made up of what? Of the pectoral girdle. Pectoral Girdle, okay, and then also made up of what? Of the pelvic girdle. All right, so please take note of this. All right, the appendicular skeleton is made up of the bones of the upper limbs, made up of the bones of the lower limbs, made up of the pectoral girdle and the pelvic girdle. You must know them. Okay, this is the composition of the appendicular skeleton. Okay, the upper limbs, the lower limbs, the pectoral girdle, and the pelvic girdle. Now, these upper limbs consist of the arm, consists of the forearm, okay, consists of the what? Wrist, and then your hand. All right, the what? The upper limbs consist of the arm, then your forearm, the wrist, and the hand. Okay, just like from year to year. Okay, so now somebody may say, what is the difference between arm and forearm? Okay, the arm and forearm just a way where anatomy used to differentiate between what? The upper arm and the lower arm. Okay, this one is what? This one is the one they call your arm from year to year. So this is what they call your arm. All right, this is your arm. Then year to year is now what's your forearm. Then your wrist. Okay, then now have what? Your hand. Okay, so that's that. The upper limbs consist of the arm, the forearm, the wrist, and the hand. While the lower limb consists of the thighs. Okay, you know your thigh now. Okay, you know your thigh consists of the thighs, consists of what? Of the legs and feet. All right, so the lower limb consists of the thigh, the legs, and what? And the feet. Now, what about this pectoral girdle? What is the function? What is the purpose of this pectoral girdle? Okay, in the appendicular skeleton. Okay, the pectoral girdle, okay, provide what? Point of attachment. It provides points of what? Of attachment of the upper limb, of the upper limbs to the axial skeleton. Okay, now the pectoral girdle provides what? Points of what? Of attachment of the upper limbs, okay, to the what? To the axial skeleton. All right, it provides points of attachment of the upper limbs, okay, to the what? Axial skeleton. It consists of the clavicle. This pectoral girdle, okay, consists of what? Of the clavicle. You know what a clavicle, right? Okay, this clavicle is called the collarbone. Okay, consists of the clavicle. This collarbone, this bone here you are seeing here. I cannot put my shirt. Okay, this one here you are seeing here. Okay, is what? Is the collar or bone. All right, it's called the clavicle. All right, it consists of what? Of the what? Of the clavicle, called the collarbone, in the what? In the anterior. Okay, and also consists of the scapula. Okay, the pectoral girdle also consists of what? Of the scapula. This scapula is also called the shoulder blade. Also called the shoulder blades. Okay, this one in the what? In the posterior. All right, so please take note of that. All right, so the pectoral girdle provides points of attachment of the upper limbs, all right, to the axial skeleton. And like I said, it consists of what? Of the clavicle or the collarbone in the anterior, all right, and consists of the scapula or the shoulder blades in the posterior. Now, the bones of what? Of the scapula, they are flat and triangular. Okay, so scapula have what? Flat and triangular bones. Okay, this scapula you see here, it has what? Flat and triangular bones. Okay, has what? Flat and triangular bones. And the humerus, okay, which we'll look at, okay, the humerus, H-U-M-E-R-U-S, the humerus, okay, has what? A rounded head. Okay, it has a rounded head, okay, which fits into a depression. It fits, F-I-T-S, it fits into a depression in the what? In the scapula. The rounded head fits into, just like something like this, okay? There's a depression in the scapula like this, then there's a rounded head of what? Of the what's it called? This is scapula with the what? With depression, and then this is what? Humerus with the rounded head. So the rounded head of what? Of the humerus fits into a depression in the scapula, okay, to form what we call what? The glenoid what? Cavity, okay? Glenoid, Glenoid, N-O-I-D, glenoid what? Cavity, or what also called glenoid fossa. Okay, please take note. That's F-O-S-S-A. So now the humerus, okay, has a rounded head which it fits into a depression in the scapula called what? The glenoid cavity or glenoid fossa. Bones of the forelimb, the forelimb is also called the upper limb. Okay, bones of the forelimb include the humerus. Okay, let us look at them. The forelimb or the upper limb. Okay, bones of the forelimb or the upper limb consist of what? Of the humerus. Okay, consist of the humerus. Okay, in the what? In the what? In the upper arm. Okay, we're looking at what? Bones of what? Of the forelimb. That is what? The upper arm. All right. Then we have the radius and the ulna. This one is in the lower arm. In the lower arm. Okay, so we have the humerus in the upper arm. We have the radius and ulna in the lower arm. We have the carpals. We have the carpals in the, this one is found in the wrists. Okay, we have the carpals in the wrist, and then we have the phalanges in the digits. Okay, so these are the bones of what? Of the forelimb, okay, or the upper limb. Bones of the what? Upper limb, okay, or the forelimb. All right, so we have the humerus in the what? In the upper arm. We have the radius and ulna in the lower arm. We have the carpals in the wrist, and then we have the phalanges found in the what? In the digits. Now, the radius and the ulna that you are seeing here, they form what is called what? The sigmoid notch. Okay, they form the sigmoid notch. All right, this sigmoid notch is also called what? Sigmoid notch. Okay, it's also called the mandibular notch. Mandibular notch. All right, the radius and ulna, okay, in the lower arm form what is called the what? The sigmoid notch. Okay, also called the mandibular notch, in which the head of the humerus fits in the what? In the elbow joint, in which the head of the humerus, humerus fits, F-I-T-S, fits in the what? Elbow joint. Okay, so we say the radius and ulna in the lower arm form what is called what? The sigmoid notch, also called the mandibular notch. All right, in which the head of the humerus fits in the what? In the elbow joint. Okay, so already we know carpals, they are in the wrist. All right, phalanges are in the digits. Okay, now the distal head of what? Of the humerus, the distal head, distal head of the humerus consists of what we call trochlea. Okay, consists of what we call trochlea or trochlea. Okay, T-R-O-C-H-L-E-A. Okay, the distal head of the humerus, okay, this humerus, the distal head of the humerus consists of what we call what? The trochlea. Okay, also it also have what? A shallow groove, shallow groove, S-H-A-L-L-O-W. Okay, a shallow groove known as the olecranon fossa. What should I write that? Olecranon fossa. All right, please take note of what of that. Okay, now we say the distal head of what? Of the humerus consists of what? Of the trochlea. Okay, and it also has a shallow groove that is known as the olecranon fossa. Okay, please take note of what of that. Now the carpals, they are the what? Bones in the what? In the wrist. Okay, in the wrist, as you are seeing here, there are bones in the wrist, and they are 8 in number. 8. Okay, please take note of that. The carpals, they are bones of what? Of the wrists. Okay, and they are 8 in number. They also have what we call the metacarpals. Metacarpals. Okay, this one, they are bones of the hand. Okay, this one, they are bones of the what? Of the hand. The metacarpals are bones of the hand. Okay, while the carpals are bones of what? Of the wrist. All right, please take note of that. Take note of what of that. All right, the carpals are bones of what? Of the wrist. They are 8 in number. All right, what? The metacarpals, they are bones of the hand. Now, it's also important to know that what? The bones of what? Of the lower limb now. Okay, the one we call the hind limb. Okay, the bones of the lower limb okay, or the hind limb include the following. Okay, the bones of the lower limb or hind limb. Bones of lower limb or hind limb include the femur, which is the longest, the largest, and the strongest bone in the human body. Okay, so the hind limb now, the hind limb, okay, or what the lower limb. Okay, so the bones of the lower limb or the hind limb include what? One, well, the femur, which is the largest, the longest, the strongest bone in the human body, also called the thigh bone. Okay, they also have the tibia and the fibula, okay, in the leg. We also have the tibia and what? Fibula. This one in the what? Found in the leg. Okay, they also have what? The tarsals. We also have the tarsals in the ankle, the tarsals in the ankle. They also have the metatarsals in the foot. Okay, we also have the metatarsals in the foot. Okay, they also have the phalanges. Okay, the phalanges of what? Of the digits. Okay, they also have what? The phalanges of the digits. Okay, so this is what? The hind limb. But look at the hind limb or the lower limb. Okay, and the hind limb or the lower limb consists of what? These bones. The femur, which is the largest bone in the human body, consists of the tibia and the fibula, okay, which is found in the leg, consists of the tarsals in the what? In the ankle, the metatarsals in the foot, and the phalanges of what? Of the digits. All of these bones, they are arranged. Okay, we want to look at what? The Pentadactyl plan. Okay, so in the Pentadactyl plan, we see what? All of the positions, okay, of what? Of these what? Bones. Okay, you have the femur, the thigh, the tibia, all right, all the bones of what? Of the hand, all of them are going to see them in the what? In the Pentadactyl what? Plan. Pentadactyl plan. All right, so now, but before we do that, we have noticed that a lot of you do not support us, okay? You do not like our videos, you do not subscribe to our channel, you do not care, you do not share the link of our video to your friends and loved ones, okay? Which is what? Very, very, very bad, okay? That means you do not want us to grow, you do not want us to succeed, and you are not appreciative of our efforts, okay? So please, we implore you, we beg you to like the video. Liking the video will make other students easily find this video. No one made them pass, okay? Please ensure that everybody around you succeeds. Copy the link of the video, share to your friends and your loved ones. Just click on the share button, copy the link, share to your friends, your loved ones. Anybody's preparing for exam, even from SS1, your junior ones in SS1, let them start following us now. You see how far they have gone, okay, before they get to SS3. All right, so please share the link, copy, share, okay, subscribe to the channel. Subscription is free. You're not paying anybody to subscribe to the channel. Just click on that red subscribe button below this video right now, and you are good to go. Okay, so please, thank you very much. We appreciate. Okay, so now let us see the Pentadactyl plan. Okay, so we have the humerus and the femur. Okay, something like this, the Pentadactyl plan. All right, then after I have this long bone, then we now have what? Two other ones. Okay, two like this. This is the Pentadactyl plan, okay, that of equal sizes. They will now have three smaller ones, okay, all right, three smaller ones, okay, and after these three smaller ones, we now have one like this, okay. Then after this one, they will now have what? The digits, okay, all right. So let us see from here. We begin with from this side. Let us see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, actually they get smaller. Okay, they get smaller. Okay, so something like this. Okay, please just manage my sketch. Okay, something like this. All right, then we have like this. Then we have what? 5. Okay, then we now have another one also. Okay, then we now have this 1, 2, 3. So have another one. Okay, they will now have the smallest one. Okay, so here is the humerus, this side. Okay, in the Pentadactyl plan. Okay, Pentadactyl plan. pentadactyl plan. Okay, so here is humerus, while his side is what? The femur. All right, then we now have the radius and the ulna on this side. Okay, so we have the ulna here, then here we have the radius, then the tibia and the fibula and what are on this side. Okay, so we now have what? The fibula, yeah, then here we have what? The tibia. Okay, then this side we have what? The tarsals. Here we have what? The metacarpus. Okay, so this okay, here is the carpus, while this place here is what? The tarsals. Okay, here is what? The carpus, here is what? The tarsals. All right, then we now have what? The metacarpus. This way you have metacarpus. Okay, what will be in this way now? Metatarsals. Okay, and of course then we now have the digits. Okay, in the phalanges. So this will be what? The phalanges. Okay, and then here will be what? The phalanges. Okay, so this is the pentadactyl plan. Okay, showing what? All the bones, all the arrangement. Okay, and all of their location. Okay, that's what the pentadactyl plan shows. The pentadactyl plan shows common limb structures found in what? Invertebrates. Okay, common limb structures. All right, so we have the humerus here, we have the femur, we have the ulna and the radius, we have the tibia and the fibula this way, then we have the tarsals. Okay, we have the tarsals. All right, tarsals. These are the tarsals. These ones here are the carpals. Okay, they will now have what? The metatarsals. All right, they will now have what? The phalanges. That what? The phalanges. Okay, so this is what the pentadactyl what? Plan. All right, so please take note of what of this. It is very, very important too. All right, so you may see a question on this in your exam. All right, maybe the diagram can be shown to you. All right, you'll be told to identify a particular part. It shouldn't be difficult for you. That will now take us to the pelvic girdle, which we have not looked at all. Pelvic girdle. This pelvic girdle is also called the pelvis. Okay, it's also called the bony pelvis. Not pelvis, so pelvis. It's also called the bony pelvis or just the pelvis. The pelvic girdle. Okay, it's a butterfly-shaped organ. Butterfly-shaped organ. Okay, that is found in our lower abdomen. All right, it's a butterfly-shaped organ that is found in our lower abdomen. All right, it is responsible for the. In fact, it's the reason why you can sit, okay, or stand. All right, it is the reason why you can shake your waist. Okay, it is very, very, very useful. Okay, it is found in our lower abdomen, and it's said to protect internal organs. Also, it protects our abdominal parts. Okay, it protects our abdominal parts. Okay, so please take note of that. So the pelvic girdle, called the pelvis or the bony pelvis, okay, it's a butterfly-shaped organ, right, that is found in our lower abdomen to protect our abdominal parts. Okay, it is the foundation, okay, of how we can stand. Okay, form the foundation that enables us to be able to stand or sit. Okay, so the pelvis is very, very important, and of course, it consists of some parts. Number one is the ilium. Okay, the pelvis consists of the ilium. Okay, ilium. All right, I think they say okay, ilium. Okay, consists of what? Of the ilium. This ilium is also called the hip bone. Okay, and apart from this, it also consists of the ischium. Okay, and apart from this ischium and the pubis. Okay, and this ischium and this pubis, they are fused together. F-U-S-E-D, to form what is called innominate bone. Okay, this was ischium and the pubis. They are fused together. They are joined together to form what is called the innominate bone. Okay, please take note of that. Like we said, the pelvis, okay, contains the ilium, called the hip bone, contains the ischium and the pubis, which are fused together to form the innominate bone. All right, and the distal ends, okay, of these bones form a cavity. The distal ends of what? Of these bones, they form a cavity, C-A-V-I-T-Y, okay? That is known as what? As the acetabulum. Known as the acetabulum. The distal ends, okay, of the bones form what? Okay, a cavity known as what? As the acetabulum. A-C-E-T-A-B-U-L-U-M. Okay, known as what? The acetabulum. Okay, into which the head of the femur, okay, fits to form the ball and socket joints. Okay, take note of that. All right, so the distal ends, okay, of what? This what are bones form a cavity known as the acetabulum, okay, into which the head of the femur fits to form the ball and the socket joint. All right, so that is all about what the pelvis. The pelvis is very useful. It helps to what? Protect our what? The abdominal what? Region. Okay, protect our abdominal what? Parts. Okay, so this is where we are going to end about the appendicular skeleton. We have seen all of the parts. All right, the upper limb, the lower limb, the pectoral girdle. We have seen what? The pelvic what? Girdle. Okay, so now let us go to the app. We answer questions. In fact, most of them will be answered by you, because right now you have already learned and there's no question that you will not be able to surmount. 2020 number 32. So please get the app, download the O3 Schools app, activate it, start using it for your own success. All right. Biology 2020 number 32 says, which of the following parts of the skeleton does not have a protective function? Which of the following parts of the skeleton does not have a protective function? A, say the ribs. Ribs have what? A protective function. Okay, they protect what? The rib cage, protect our heart and our lung. Okay, the carpals, let's keep that. C, say the skull. Let's keep that. This is the pelvis. Okay, which of the following does not have a protective function? Okay, so tell me the right answer in the comment section. Does the skull have a protective function? Does it protect anything? The pelvis, does it protect anything? We don't say the pelvis protects what? Our abdominal region. All right, so which of them now do not have? Okay, so the carpals, where are the carpals? Okay, where are the carpals found? So you should know whether the carpals have a protective or function or not. Okay, so pick the correct answer, put it in the comment section. Then 1997 number 23 says, the appendicular skeleton is composed of the pectoral girdle, A says pelvic girdle, the fore and the hind limbs. All right. B says pelvic girdle and fore limbs. C says lumbar vertebrae and pelvic girdle. D says lumbar vertebrae, fore and hind limbs. Okay, you talk about anything like lumbar vertebrae in appendicular skeleton. Okay, so look for the correct answer and put in the comment section. So they are telling you that was made up of 4 parts: pectoral girdle and either 3 or 2 other parts. Okay, as shown in the option. So choose the most correct one. Okay, now let us see. Look at the last one. You go to the app and search for the questions for yourself. Year 2000 number 16 says, the scapula and the ischium. The scapula and the ischium are part of the A, say the pectoral girdle, B, say the pelvic girdle, C, say the appendicular skeleton, D, say hind limb. This is what we are telling you. JAMB will want to confuse you. They want to confuse you. So, but if you know what you are doing, there's no way they can get you. Okay, they can never get any of my students. All right. So here now, this question is to confuse you. The scapula and the ischium. The scapula and the ischium, they are on different parts, okay, of all of the appendicular skeleton. All right. Now they are telling you now, is it the pectoral girdle, the pelvic girdle, the hind limb, or the appendicular skeleton? Okay. The only thing that's common between all of them there is that they are all what? Parts of what? Of the appendicular skeleton. All right. So any other option you choose there will be wrong. Okay, so just choose your correct answer, put it in the comment section. All right, I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. All right, so now let us stop here. Okay, in the next class I want to look at joints. All right, I'd love to see you there. Thank you for watching.